What is going on, everybody? How's it going? How is it going? I'm gonna go ahead and give people maybe about 2, 3 minutes. See everyone, people here who's on time. That's probably a good sign for this year for everybody. You guys are prepared to make some moolah. So we got a couple people coming on in. We're gonna give them 2 minutes and we're gonna catch up. But we got this nice, pretty PDF we got here. Oh, you can't see that. We got this PDF right here. We're gonna talk all about this and we're gonna kick this New Year's off right. All right, so get you some water, some vitamins, whatever you need to stay up for this next hour and a half, because we are gonna dive deep, real deep, right? We went deep into VST today. So we're gonna talk all about this 600% trade, first day of the year. And yeah, this is what we got lined up for the menu and a bunch of more stuff, prizes, charting, risk management. Hey, Jarvis is in the building. Bree, good evening. Nisha, Maria, what's going on? Maria was all over that one. That's the type of energy we need. All right, so she was in this chat here. This little old thing. It's just a Discord. You know, everyone has one these days, right? So this is the team chat room, and I'll call out my trades here and day trades. But you can see we're really engaging in the action throughout the day. I posted the VST on my watch list. So I'm gonna let a couple people in before I get into the analysis. But yeah, feel free to shout out what city you guys are from. I'm over here in Brooklyn, New York, and it's not really brick, but it's cold, if you know what I mean. It's levels. Levels to this. All right, so we're gonna get started. We're gonna get started. What's going on? What's going on? I was combing my hair earlier. That's why I would have been here a little bit earlier, but I got the fresh cut. Um, so Happy New Year, everybody. We had a good 2004, but this year is it's gonna be an action-packed year. I'll tell you that. Um, 2025. I didn't fully dive in to the meaning of the conscious theme of the year. Last year was health and wealth, and I called this out in my Discord. Literally, same situation as Happy New Year, but it was December 2023, and I said, "Hey, health is going to be the theme of the year." And if you take a look at the health stocks, one of the biggest ones was Eli Lilly. And wow, that is a crazy looking chart. So let me back up. Let me back up. I'm gonna just create something new. I'm gonna call this 2025. And we're gonna go to this weekly chart so it looks a little bit cleaner. All right. So 2024 starts here. All right. So if you look, let me just make sure everyone is in. New people's coming on in. All right, so if you look here, this was January 1st, right out the gates, bow, all-time new highs. For the rest of the year, this was about $600, right? $500 and some change. We reached a high of 972. So almost, you could say 90% on your money with the shares alone. And if you had options, it would have been even crazier. So um this is just showing you that each year has an overall theme. And if you understand just different aspects of the whole of what's going on in the world, where we're heading to, and you pretty much align that with the companies that's doing well. And for example, Eli Lilly was one of the best stocks coming in to 2024. And you could use the fundamentals and then you could also use the technicals, such as what I'm going to show you here with this 9 EMA, which is a moving average. I'm going to get into that. But you can see as long as it's above this line, we're pretty much bullish and we stayed above this line coming into that year. So let me check in, 'cause I think someone message on the Discord. I want to make sure everyone is good. Let's see the chat. If you guys got anything to say in the chat, feel free to let me know. All right. So the Candace is coming in from ATL. Marie is from Jersey. Um, Come on, y'all. I know y'all not shy. So let's get the chat rolling and let's see what's we got Noki from Minnesota. I think MS is Minnesota. I gotta get my acronyms right. Yes, indeed. All right. So we from all over. We got Mississippi. All right. So Arizona. All right, y'all dropping the cities. We really Brian from Colorado, the mountains, and we got Bay Area. We covering every state right now. That's crazy. Every single state. So this is my goal to make you guys the best trader in your state. Do you guys think that's possible? Right. I'm in New York, so there's a lot of traders in here in New York. Got a lot of competition, right? So that's the goal. Toronto. Toronto. Let's go. Brother Anthony. Indianapolis. All right. Indianapolis. I just keep thinking about the brawl, the Pacers brawl. What's going on, Marcus? All right. So we covering a lot of ground. We got Florida. It's a lot of ground. We gotta see who's into real estate, see what's the best place to get some put our bread, right? Because after 2025, you're gonna need to know where to put this bread, right? Um, Charlotte, man, keep dropping them. All right, all right. So let me get my mind. So usually I'm very like single mind focused, so however you say it. So but when I'm like zoned in, it's just for the kill, right? And you can see that, I just gotta flex a little bit. Right, I'm gonna flex a little bit. We got the day trades. Um, which one? Oh yeah, in the team chat room is where I called it out. So yeah, VST, that was a banger. Under 2 hours today, first day trading day of the year, 632%. So we're gonna talk all about this trade and how we could replicate the process that went into making this happen, right? I could have used any trade, honestly, if this trade didn't exist before today. So I could use any trade for this webinar, really. And that's just to show you that this isn't just gambling, right? Like everything is a gamble when you really get deep into it. But I've really gotten the process down to a point where it's simple, right? You really won't hear me say this is easy, but it's simple. It's very well defined, and you could do it rinse and repeat, right? And that's what I believe a lot of us we want. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and I think someone asked for the Discord link. So I'm gonna just drop that real quick. And I'm probably gonna just let you guys know what we got going on throughout the webinar. As I'm giving you guys the process and everything you need for 2025, I'm gonna keep you guys in tune with everything we got. So you see all these resources, these are powerful, right? Very powerful, and we're gonna go through those and how it's gonna help you this year. So let me just drop this linky in the chat real quick. All right, so that's to sign up for the tier 2 for the Discord. Now tier 1, we just started that. That's free, right? And you'll only be getting access to the watch list, right? Which honestly is pretty fire because that's where I called out this trade. So you literally could have been in here for free. Came through this morning. What's today? The second. All right. So I call it the SPY levels and what I see for it every day. And VST. This is the only one I called out. Um, and let's see, high or low in the daily. So if you just zoom in, first of all, I know a lot of people they read this and they're like, okay, what does that mean? Right? Now that's my goal, to make sure you guys could take something as little as a higher low and say, ah, I know what to do with that, right? Because this is $1 million worth of information right here. Um, a higher low. That should for the seasoned traders. Let me know what that means. If you could throw that in the chat, let me know what does a higher low mean to you. Someone came to you, all right, it's got a higher low. What does that actually mean? What can you do? So long story short, I actually called it out again in the team chat room. And this is where Maria got involved. She was very much involved in AVGO, which is a big one for us. Um, Let me see where I said, and I'm gonna get into the real stuff, right? The process, but I just want to show you guys this is real, right? I gotta, you know, gotta back it up. How you guys know I'm not just talking fluff, right? So VST from the watch list, right? This is after I posted it in this channel. And I said, yo, it's pushing. So even if you um sorry, if you didn't catch it from the watch list, you would have made some money because it's already pushing up. But you got a second alert and it's at 142. And long story short, Maria, she's a seasoned trader, so she understands how to use this information, right? The higher low. She understands, okay, from maybe her own analysis, right? Honestly, we haven't fully worked together yet. We've done a quick one-on-one, and she has read some of the handbook that I'm gonna go over. But like I said, she knows her stuff based on her own studying. So I think this is just basic stuff that if you're a trader, you should know what a high or low means. So we're gonna go back to the chat. We got some people that said, hey, a high or low means. Nisha said totally missed it. She said it's going up. All right, there you go. Simple. High or low means it's going up. Brian says uptrend. Get into calls. There you go. So he's not only just saying is going up. He's not saying uptrend. Well, he said uptrend, but he gave us action, right? And that's what we want to do this year is act, right? Like you guys know how to trade, right? I know there's some people who's maybe beginning in maybe this past month or last 2 months, but 101 trading 101, you should understand what a trend is, which is an uptrend. So we're gonna, but I want to put some light on what Brian said because I think it goes over people's heads. Is that he gave us an actionable thing, and I want this to be the difference coming into 2025. Is that, like I said, we take action because 2024 we learned and we accumulated a lot of the knowledge. And this actually brings up like a three-step process that I have when pretty much going after any goal. Like me, like I said, I'm a single-minded guy, very tunnel vision. So like if I want to kill it, I gotta kill it. And honestly, I've um been it sounds weird, but I've been a killer since I was little, with sports. Just being the city champion of the whole New York City and in high school in track, and then college, electronic engineering, and then just being able to put your mind to something and realizing, hey, this is God's gift, right? To be able to apply our mind to something. And I was like, hey, I have this ability, this power. And if there's one thing that put my mind to something, right, and kill it, what would it be? And I was like, money, duh, right? Like if you get the money, you could literally do anything else. So that's part of the reason why I pretty much gave everything to this trading. And I'm pretty sure that I did the whole picture is making sense for everyone because there's more and more people coming into the markets than ever because people see, it's a bunch of reasons why. But yeah, we're all here and it's 2025. We want to make sure that we not only learn this information, we not only say, hey, this is a good webinar. I learned a lot. Thank you. But what are you gonna do next? Right? And this is the energy that we're starting 2025 off, and we're gonna carry it all the way through to 2026. And this is the train, right? It's either you can hop on or you can hop off, right? Come on for one stop or two, whatever. But this is the train, is not stopping. And the last time I had this energy was 2018, when that's when I left my engineering job to pretty much start trading. And I ended up reading like 100. I decided to read 100 books that year, like make it a goal, which is pretty much 2 books a week. But that same energy, I want you guys to think about. That's what you're gonna need in order to actually act, right? Is levels to this where you could go on YouTube and learn trading, come to the webinar, learn trading. But the next goal, the thing I want to equip you guys with is the process and the mindset, and the visual of the action, right? Because that's what matters. At the end of the day, there's a lot of coulda, shoulda, wouldas, right? Especially in the stock market. So, me, I honestly don't care. I don't, you don't, You're not gonna hear me say, "Hey, I could have got this, I should have got that," because I it's annoying to me because it's like, okay, prove it. Like, you put your money where your mouth is, and that's where we are here. We have the abilities to do it, and the strategies, which I'm gonna show you guys. All right, so I'm gonna take a look at the chat because I've been yapping for a little bit. Noki says, do you have mentorship program? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna get into a deep it's more of a transformation that we're going over this time around. It's usually I do a 6 week mentorship, but this time is gonna be a 12 week, and it's gonna be like really hands-on, making sure that you like a step-by-step holding hand type of mentorship. And yeah, we're gonna talk about that. And then Maria says she read the whole handbook, but rereading the updated version. So this handbook is the secret sauce, right? You guys want to know about the secret sauce, and when you sign up for the Discord, this comes free. And I actually wrote this book, which I intended it to be like 10 pages, but it turned into like 60, maybe 70 pages. But it really includes how to work and navigate the Discord, what you should do when you get in. But it gets into the technical analysis and my strategies, right? So you're gonna learn, how do I trade, learn my style, so you're not lost when you come in, see what my chart looks like and what the lines mean, and how to follow the plays. You're gonna learn how to create a trade plan, and this is gonna be something we're gonna talk about today to make sure you guys keep it is a lot that's going on here, right? I want you guys to keep the money that you're making, because there's a lot of stories, especially with the good traders, of just they know how to trade, but it's hard to keep the profits, right? Because the profits come and they go. So having a plan for that, a plan for entry, the type of trade, which is pretty solid. You got to know that. Is it a scalp, day trade? I know that sounds like the same thing, but it's a difference. And then swing, risk, stop loss. So you guys got to ask yourself, do you know all these things coming into your trade, right? Do you know all these things coming into 2025? Because if you don't, then most likely you might make the same mistakes as 2024. So this is non-negotiable. None of this stuff. None of this stuff is non-negotiable. That's why trading is hard. People will figure out like 4 out of 5 or maybe three, but you gotta have 5 out of 5. What if you get everything right, but your wrist is off? You're gonna lose, right? Even if you get a 600% trade like we did today, eventually, if you're risking right, you're gonna lose. So we're gonna talk about that today. All right. So let me see how I'm doing on time. So 20 minutes. Pretty decent. Pretty decent. All right. Let me see what the chat is looking like, and I'm gonna see if you guys got any questions. Let me see. Is that level two handbook? That is, yes, that is the tier two. When you sign up, you get a handbook. So when you sign up for the free Discord, the tier one, you're gonna get a handbook, but it's not gonna include all the juicy stuff. It's just gonna tell you how to work the Discord. And I don't think you get the strategies. So we're gonna get into this picture here. We're just gonna show you how we do things in probably like 5 minutes, and then get into some process stuff. So we got time frames, right? We could use the weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, 1 minute. Sometimes use the monthly and quarterly now because it gives me a cleaner picture, right? And you can see the difference. Apple, this is the monthly chart, right? See how clean those candles look versus this 15-minute chart, which is like what in the world's going on, right? So these are both very helpful, and you want to use all of them. Sometimes, some days you might not need to use a 15, and you might want to use a 5 minute, but we'll get in, it comes with experience, and we're gonna get into that with the mentorship at the end of this month. All right, candlesticks, right? Candlesticks is or AKA price action. You could learn you're gonna get a lot of stuff from this. One, levels. And then you're gonna get information on whether the price is telling you we're gonna go up or down. Right? So candlesticks by itself is pretty significant. You got the high, the open, sorry, high, the low, open, and the close. Now, if I'm talking too fast, right, feel free to tell me to slow down on any points, right? Because I just want to make sure I don't have you guys here all night, right? I know you guys probably got some Netflix or something to watch, all right? But the goal here, you guys ever seen that meme where it's like a couple and they like I think they watching instead of watching Netflix, they watching like stocks, and they like we trying to figure out which stock's gonna pay for our next vacation, right? So that's what I really think about, right? Like front loading everything, like figure out everything now, go through the hard stuff, sacrifice so that I could eventually, go on vacations. And that's been the mindset um this whole time. So rather than I could, just say, all right, I mean take a break and go watch some TV, but yeah. You see the market is hot, and there's opportunities every day. So that's why my energy it's been hot for the 2024, but 2025 is like, all right, there is no waiting, right? So because the market ain't gonna wait on us. All right, so what am I gonna show you? What was I gonna show you? I think I was looking at the candlesticks, and we're just going through this book, which you guys can have access to when you sign up. And the highs and lows is pretty significant because this is also telling you levels that you could draw, and it tells you about the trend of the stock, right? Uptrends. Um, when an uptrend turns into a downtrend, that's what creates a high. When a downtrend turns into an uptrend, that's what creates a low. So those are significant points. And whether you're on a weekly time frame, whether you're on a 4 hour time frame, 1 minute time frame, there's always highs and lows, right? Sometimes it gets really choppy and hard to see. And if that's the case, then you could always zoom out, right? Make it a little bit easier. All right. You don't want to be confused whenever you place trades. And if you are, that's probably a sign, right? Step back a little bit and look at something else. So the trading system, this is the secret sauce. I know it looks like a little simple old table, but a lot of years went into this, right? So the way I describe it is a lot of people knows what support and resistance is. So they look at this and like, duh, right? And then maybe volume. It's probably something they're not really caught up to, but price action. Yeah, I know engulfing candle, right? Trend, uptrend, right? EMAs. I use. Someone would tell me, hey, yeah, I use the 20, I use the 100, I use the 200. Cool, right? So the thing is, everyone knows these individually. Maybe you guys don't know this. This is this column. This is the secret sauce. But you guys technically use these already without knowing it. What I've done is categorized it so that my brain could process it real time, very efficiently. So I do less thinking, and that less thinking pretty much automates my brain, which makes things simpler, right? So what do I mean by that? Right? When I categorize my patterns, I it got to the point where I could just swipe through my screens. You see all these stocks. I'm just swiping through like a security guard, keeping my stocks on watch. And that's how I found VST today. And I'm like, nothing on this screen. Nothing going on here. Nothing going on here. You guys are wondering what I'm looking at, right? That's what we're gonna talk about, right? We actually did start talking about some of the stuff, the basics, like the candles, right? The volume a little bit, the trend. So all of those things matter. And they seem so simple that it feels like there has to be something more, right? There has to be something else. But I'm showing you, I simply used, let's go back to the Discord watch list that everyone has access to when you sign on up, even for the free, right? The free. Bow, higher low on the daily chart. That was 600% today. It actually could have been more if I got in early. That should have been a no should have, right? It could have been a 1,000%, but didn't. I wanted to make sure I call it out when I have more certainty for everyone. There's a difference between my trading and everyone else for the Discord. So understand I do take that into consideration when I call out trades. All right. So let me take out the chat. What's going on? Loki said, what platforms do you recommend to trade on for beginners? I like Charles Schwab as a broker just because that's what I've been using. And I use Thinkorswim, right? I use Thinkorswim as a platform to trade. So this is my platform, Thinkorswim, and I could do everything I need to. And it's pretty, I got my tools, Robinhood is pretty much the opposite. They have less tools. They dumb things down and make it look like a nightclub, to keep you, I don't know, get your dopamine going, right? But when you really trading, you don't want any distractions other than what the price is doing, your EMAs or whatever you're using. So yeah, I could do a lot with everything I need to with Thinkorswim. I use most of my I do most of my trades on my phone, so I'll enter and exit on my phone just because I got used to it over the years. And yeah, I could get better entries and better this, but sometimes I just feel like using my phone because it's just in my hand. It feels good, right? I'm not one of those that's gonna be like, oh, I gotta get the entry like da da da, like like there I do, right? I'm not gonna lie. Like I use the 1 minute chart. You can see this is you know, I'll do my best, but in terms of actually pulling the trigger, mm, you got a window, right? You got a window because it depends on what time frame you're using and depends on how hot the market is for that situation. But most situations, you got like 5 minutes. You probably might get another pullback, right? Like your entries got to be super on point for you to not have a pullback after you get into the trade, right? So think about that, like to just calm down when thinking about having to rush into your trades, right? You got some time if you're planning things. If you're not, then you just ruled by your emotions. So what was the question that you asked before? It said, do you back test before you make any trade? back test. That's a funny thing. So the, what I use is my system, and my system is back tested. And the whole word back tested is funny because it's just studying, right? That's really all it means. But you're picking something specific to study in the history and see if it works, how well it works. So yeah, I did that for every aspect of this system, every aspect in intensity. And that's how I've had so much conviction in what I use. Like one set of months, it might be a 90 May. I'm just solely focused on, okay, like is this really gonna work? Does this work on the 5 minute and the 15 minute and the 1 hour and the 4 hour the same way? Right? Or is one time frame like better? And when you do that for every single component and you see what I'm doing it manually. I'm not doing it like with some software or whatever the case is and statistics and this and that. Um this is where I get a little bit into the deeper stuff where I believe yes, there is AI, which is artificial intelligence, but you can't sleep on I, which is the original intelligence, which is you, right? You got to tap into your ability to process and that once you get this information into your subconscious mind, your intelligence could do a lot. If you show up and you know how to organize the information, and that's what the power of what you're looking at is. This is information, everything that you've learned, and it's organized and into a process. And this is what I'm going to be going over with you guys in my, well, if you sign up with the 12-week mastermind. So this is going to be a very exclusive master. It's going to be a very exclusive group, only 10 people. Um, like I said, it's going to be like hands-on and then one-on-ones and weekly classes. So there's not going to be much people, but you guys are going to learn this like the back of your hand. It's I could teach it to a kid. If any of you guys got kids, I will make sure I could teach it to your kids. That's how simple I've got this down packed and how simple it is to understand. Um, all this stuff is not rocket science, right? And I think that might be what it takes to wake you guys up when you see maybe your daughter, your son actually understands this and makes some money from this. And you're like, wait, how did you do it? Well, yeah, you had the same ability, but you were sleeping on it, right? And that's what I want to help you guys do is wake up before the next bull run happens, right? Because it might be starting right now. And everyone is like, well, I don't know. Right. But if you look at the technicals, you'll get a very good sense. There's a lot of things. It's not just one thing you look at to say, okay, yes or no. Right. That's where a lot of people were coming into trading expecting the black and white answers, and that's how they get you, right? They manipulate you. For example, look at this simple support level, which is very strong. It's been holding up. This is the 4 hour chart. So these moves are pretty big. All right, if I go to the 15, this is the same chart, right? This 585, 585. Yep. See how big this move was? This was 585 all the way up to 591. That's like 500% if you're using the same day at least. If you're using a tomorrow expiration, it's probably give you 200% at least. If you're using the next day, next week expiration, you're gonna get 100%, right? So I know my options, I know how my expirations work. And that's what allows me confidence to do what I do. And that's where it really comes from my ability um to execute in what people call high uncertainty things. Yes, there are uncertain environments, right? But my system is never uncertain. My system is black and white. That's what people want, right? They want the black and white. Well, if I created the game, right? Like this has been my mindset, right? I have so much mindsets. I've probably said that like 10 times, but there is a game which we call the stock market, right? They created the game. right? I didn't. This is here before I was even born, right? Um, how am I going to beat them at their game, right? When they could change the rules and they could flip flop this and that. And so what I'm doing, I'm not playing their game. I don't even know what game they're playing, right? Um, I've created my own game within this game, right? We need them because they created the stock market, this tool for us to make money, but then they need us. And when I say they, I'm talking about the person, the people with the big money who's controlling this price movement. And it does take a collaboration between us and them, but um overall there is I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not worried about anything other than my game, right? And that's what we have in 2025 with all this AI, with all this blockchain and new world, and you have all this freedom to do with whatever you want. And it sounds like what you talking about. Like I still gotta go to work. Like I still gotta do this. Like it hasn't clicked yet, right? And the world, like there's some people out there who still doesn't believe in Bitcoin and they don't know what crypto is. And so we're just still early, right? Um, but what am I trying to say? Let me get back to the technicals. Let me get back to the technicals. Let me see. Let me know what questions you guys got. Let me see. All right. So your style is the simplest and easy to comprehend. I've been in groups where they're using 8 to 10 different indicators and it's too complex for me. Thank you. Yes, we try to make it as simple as possible. And an iPhone says, can you apply stop loss on Thinkorswim platform? Yes, you can in many different ways. You could do a trailing stop. You could just do a hard level stop. And what else? I think those are the main two that I would think to use because it's either you're gonna get out at the below a certain level. Well, options, see, this is the thing. I don't want to get into the options conversation too much, but you guys gotta realize, let me pull up Tesla. I know a lot of you guys you like Tesla. Um, and then I'm gonna go back to the process stuff because that's what everyone they need. So I want to make sure you guys are getting the juicy stuff to make sure you could act in this next year. So uh why did I come to Tesla? What was the last question? Stop loss. All right. So I was gonna explain your option your option premium stop loss will be different than the stocks stop loss. All right. So what that means is say if you say, okay, this is the level I'm going to set my stop loss below, right? Um, the price doesn't even have to go below this level. But your option premium could go down, right? For many reasons. Maybe the volume went down, the time decayed. Maybe you entered when it was high volume, and yeah, like I said, the volume went down naturally, so your option is down. So those are a lot of things, especially if you're trading options. You need a mentor. There's certain I try to negotiate it and not be like a salesman, and even if it isn't me, but I'm gonna say if you're trading options, you need a mentor who understands options because it's a dirty game when it comes to options. The way that it's set up, not like they're manipulating you, but it's just what they kind of are, but how the options is set up, you could be right on a trade and be terribly down on your option, which seems so unfair. So to understand just how not to get caught up in certain things, how maybe to learn how to take a longer expiration date. So I'm gonna show you guys the option chain real quick. Option chain for Tesla, right? So instead of going with a January 3rd, and it's tempting because you got these cheaper prices, right? You could afford this, right? 20 cents, right? Pretty quick. It might get to 400, and that 76 might turn into about $400. right? But what the safer thing to do is might go a week out, 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out. But then when you look at these expirations, whoa, these are a little bit more expensive. Naturally turns you off. So even if you know what the right thing to do, even if you don't have an account to for these options, your emotions are going to lead you back to trading these. Um, and even if, okay, you do the right thing, you say, all right, I'm gonna go far out. I'm gonna spend more money. I'm gonna spend more money. I know it's a little bit more than I could have probably afford, but it's safer. And then you spend more money, and then this option, your trade doesn't work out, and then you lose more money, right? To a degree, right? Because it expires a little bit further out, but there's a lot of ways options could get you, and you do have an options workshop to make sure you are covered. But in the 12-week mastermind, everything is covered. Options, risk management, psychology, trading strategies, entries, exits, stocks, how to find them, how to journal, everything, right? So that's what the 10 slots are open for, the 12-week mastermind at the end of this month. You'll be able to pay in a payment plan, right? It's gonna be I want you guys to understand it's 2 classes minimum per week and for 12 weeks, so you're getting at least 24 classes. Um, Live trading is gonna include live trading. So you're getting a lot. On top of free access to the Discord this whole time. And you're gonna be getting the some one-on-ones to make sure you know what you're doing. So it's gonna be a total price of 3,000 for the 12 weeks, 24 classes, but you could pay in a payment plan where you could put 1,000 up front and then you pay 500 every 2 weeks. So that is only open for 10 people, and that starts January, I believe it's 26, right? It'll be like a Sunday. So we'll do 2 days a week. All right. So getting back to the program, we are gonna talk about that Discord handbook, and then we'll get into some juicy stuff. Let me look at my notes really quick and drop any questions if you guys want me to answer anything, look at any stocks, give you an update, or just what I think about anything so we can keep the engagement going. All right, so let's see, charting. I want to make sure you guys get a quick little thing on charting. We're gonna get an understanding on how we could risk, how much money we could risk this year. And yeah, so that's gonna be the first two things, right? And I see the power of 30. So I'm gonna talk about that as well. So 30% means I will take profit percentage. So notice there's a lot of points that I gotta come across to make sure you guys are fully equipped, which I can't do all in within an hour and a half, right? I can't do that, but I could at least just touch base on some of these things to make sure that you guys have something. And then if you guys are really serious, then you could, there's gonna be there's different ways to learn, but like I said, the best way is that 12-week mastermind. And then you do have workshops. So we got the workshop on Saturday, all about risk management. So if you guys are if you guys are passionate and saying you're gonna make some money this year in trading, but you're not serious about risk management, that's a conflict. And it's crazy that my brother just entered the chat, right? My big brother who has always been getting on me about risk management. And that's the one thing that has transformed everything. There's a lot of things that transformed everything, but risk management, you literally there's no shortcuts, right? It's either you gotta be really, really good, like your gains each trade has to be so good that you could get away with bad risk management. But once you fix it, your profits is going to be ridiculous. So we're going to talk about the profits. right? We want to make profits this year, right? If anyone wants to make some profits this year, let's put a dollar sign in the chat and let's see who wants to make some money this year as we get into the charts. This is Tesla, so I'm gonna go ahead and get a new drawing. We're gonna do create a new one. This is gonna be 2025. Oh snap. Y'all trying to make some bread. DP wants to make some bread. Trisha wants to make some moolah. I know there's more people in here that want to make some money. See, if y'all scared to make some money, what y'all think gonna happen? Right? I'm just trying to help y'all out. Right? If y'all not about if y'all about to get into a gang and y'all not about that life, I'll help you out. So like, yo, just stay out. Like what you signing up for is probably not good for you, right? I'm saying if you're scared to make money, trading itself might not be it. But you can still invest, right? Investing is always good. Um, what you're learning here is gonna take your investing to a whole new level. Even if you're not into trading, simple technical analysis. All right, let's get into it. I keep hyping y'all up. So I'm gonna show y'all something simple as a 50 EMA or 9 EMA. It looks pretty much like it's not doing much, right? This is a weekly chart. Now you could zoom into this area and see we did stay above this area for a long time. This is each week. And then we eventually got to this 50 EMA, which is the yellow line, right? See how clean that tap is? Came down, bow, and then right back up. So let's go to the quarterly, and you can see this is every 3 months. We've been bullish, right? So this is a pretty good sign for any company if you're able to stay above this line for your for the for a long time, right? So once you go below the line, then you're starting to look a little bit bearish. All right, so let's see the power of 30%. So 30% is pretty much my take profit rule of thumb. And there's situations, right? Obviously, I'll be up a lot more. Today was 600%, but you gotta have a rule of thumb to know when to get out. Even when your levels, the price hasn't hit your level yet, because what if it doesn't, right? And you did all of that hard work to find a trade, but because it didn't get to your level or take profit, does that mean you don't have any profits? Now this is where the tricky part comes because the simple answer would be like, oh well, just take some off and then at least you got something. Well, a lot of people are trading with one contract, right? That changes the whole game psychologically, and in terms of the actual trading because you're not going to be able to scale out, which means your whole decision making is different, and it gets simpler and easier. I would say it will get easier when you have the ability to take more than one contract, but when you have one contract, um, a lot of emotions go through your head because you know you're up, right? Let's say you're up 50% on your trade, which is a significant amount of percentage for a day trade and it's very good and anyone will be happy to make that and take home with that take that profit home. But let's say if you know this is a situation where Tesla could go from here to there, do you get out of your trade, your one contract because you have your 50% and you're good for the day, or because of your conviction, because of all your hard work that you've done, maybe all weekend to see that, man, Tesla is ready to blow, right? And then it actually does. It starts. but you're not sure if it's just gonna pull back and settle, settle down for the day. And at that point, your gains will be wiped out, right? So constantly, if you don't have a plan, you're constantly gonna be having this battle in your head. Should I take the profit? Should I not? Should I take the profit? Should I not? Because you got this one contract, right? Now if you had two contracts, you should have a goal, well, a set of rules where it could be 10%, but you got to take something off. I would say at least a third of your profit, you should take it off. And for some other people, it could be 20% or 30%. But if it hits 30%, you should definitely be taking something off. And when you look at, if you do that for every trade for the entire year, you're going to save yourself a lot of drawdown, and also you're locking in profits, but you're saving yourself money or gaining money. Because there's times where, like you said, like I was mentioning earlier, it would come down and you're like, man, I was up. I could have. But because you did secure something, that little something adds up throughout the year, right? Throughout the month, that even if you had a red month, it wasn't as red because at least you locked something in, right? And then also when you lock something in, it does something psychologically where you're less stressed out about what could possibly happen. You're just like, oh, okay, I already got some profit. I'll let it ride. But you got to be careful with that mindset as well because um this move might not happen. It might get here and then start trickling down. And because you let it ride down and profit too much. So learn when to take that other half off as well, which is what I would help with in that 12-week mastermind, is making sure each individual person has a personalized plan because that's what you're gonna need to be consistent, right? There is no there are cookie cutter stuff, right, that I use like in my system because I'm not gonna change it. I mean, there's probably gonna be, I don't know, it's working. Then there's the thing is support levels are not gonna change, right? If I draw, if I let's take this one, it's obvious. That support level will be a support level. Um, no matter if the price breaks through it, right? This support level was always a support level. It's never going to change, right? This was the low of the day, right? In history, stamped, printed, right? So by me saying, hey, my pattern is a support reversal and it works, why change it? It's just okay, find better situations where it could work even better. But even at that, you don't want to change too much if you that's not that much, and you don't want to overcomplicate trading. And that's why I say the only thing you really need to change is our mindset in terms of managing our risk so we have less losses, or even smaller losses, and managing our mindset so that and building systems so we lock in profit when we have one contract or if you have multiple contracts, making sure you do that in the right way. So you guys would be you guys would be impressed if I told you about a lot of stuff that I've been doing in the background. But in the Discord, it's trade alerts. There's only so much I could type. And I could type a lot, but I've realized it could drain my energy trying to do too much. So that's why the tier three is going to include live trading. So I don't have to type as much. I don't have to um say, oh, I guess this is what it is. Feel like I'm not doing enough because I'm seeing so much, but I can't type it out, right? So when I say seeing so much, I'm telling you, I'm following a lot of stuff and I have a system to secure a lot of the stuff, right? So if you guys are seeing this RGTI, right? Does that one stand out when you look at all these, right? This one kind of stands out, Meta, right? And we actually did. So I want you guys to look back at this Discord and see we called out all these and we're actually in all those trades. And that's how high quality um the process and our observation skills that we're building here for the whole community And let me see, where do we call out the trades right here? So RGTI, can we call that out? Yep, the last trading day, so 73 cents. We called the $20 strike when it was at 74 just on Tuesday. And now we look at RGTI is at 20 bucks, right? And I believe I didn't look at the profit throughout the day, but I looked at it at the end and it said 62%, right? So 62%, I think that's like $1.20, I don't know, $1.10 probably. But I'm not really following my profit in certain situations because I'm following the technicals. And that's where we got to understand how to categorize our process, right? Like, yeah, you could categorize a process, entries, exits, risk management, taking profit. Okay, but then it's like a file cabinet. You open that drawer, and then there's another set of folders, right? You take the take profit process. How are you gonna do that? How are you gonna execute that take profit process, right? This is my next set of folders. Sometimes I'm taking profit based on the technicals. I'm not caring about the profit, right? VTS, what is it? VST? Sometimes I forget what the company even does. I had to look at Chat GPT earlier today to remind myself what it does. But I'm looking at this, the technicals, right? And I didn't look at the profit the entire time. The entire time. I'm in this trade and I didn't even really get into it too much with how process was behind it. But I entered on this candle, 35 cents. It was above this 90 EMA this whole time. That's it. What am I um gonna do? Oh, sorry. Why should I do anything other than stay in this trade? Because it's literally telling me it's above the blue line. If any of you guys play back this video for your children and say and ask them, do they understand this blue line? Like what should they do? Pretty sure they'll understand, right? Because it's simple. When you say, hey, if you're above this line, you're bullish. That means the price is likely to continue going up. I've said that to a couple people and they still don't get it, right? Um, if the price is under it, then the price is likely to go down. That's it, right? So you can see we never got under this blue line. Your brain will try to overcomplicate it. Your brain probably has a lot of questions right now. But as simple as I said it, it's as simple as trading could be. And it's it's crazy when you think about how many millions of dollars um is at play, how much millions of dollars you could make by using something that is so simple. Right? Now you just gotta know what situations to use it and what situations not, it doesn't work. Right? For example, in a ranging market, up and down, right? The 9 EMA is a trending indicator, right? I'm gonna pull out my fancy new note for you guys, right? Key conditions, or I'm gonna say key market conditions, because this is the big part of staying consistent this year. The market will change. How do you keep up with the changing market? You got to be the weatherman, right? You got to be able to know the how to read the conditions, right? Are we having a rainy day today, or is it gonna be some sunshine? And you're gonna have to you gotta ask yourself, how are you able to know that? Right? How are you able to even have confidence in that? A lot of you say, okay, uptrend or downtrend. What else? Right? There's more to the weather than the temperature, right? You got humidity. And I don't know the other stuff. You guys gotta help me out. But there's some other weather stuff that's pretty important, right? Precipitation. I think that's a thing, right? So key conditions, trend. That's one thing. Um, but what is the opposite of trending? Right? I mean, there's trend and there's trending. Trending is more of like an adjective to describe what's happening. Or it could be a noun like an environment, right? So a trending environment, right? Like this. This is a trending environment. What makes that a trending environment? That it broke a range, right? So there's only two environments to me. Well, in this category, there's trending versus ranging. And if you guys can understand the difference between these two, it will save you. I don't know what's gonna save you, but right, I'm not gonna make some stuff up, but it's gonna give you a lot of clarity on how to read the market. It's gonna allow you to not get chopped up and yeah, because look, this is a ranging environment. Did the market break the range at any point? Like it broke it, but it didn't like hold above it. So technically, look, it didn't close. Yeah, it technically did close. But I don't know. This is just ranging. But you can see how the 9 EMA is not being respected as well. Right? Slapped up. This situation, straight up. How could you have told that this day was gonna range and this day was gonna trend up? The clues are here. The clues are here, and I will be revealing every single one and explaining every single one in my 12-week mastermind coming up at the end of this month. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. All right. I think a lot of the other mentorships, I was more trying to confirm myself and confirm the idea and confirm the trades. Now I don't got nothing to prove. I mean, I always feel like I have something to prove to the world, but the system is there and it's magnificent and it's gonna get more magnificent as I find new ways to explain it better. Um understand really this is one thing that I know things are gonna get better because I still don't have that one setup that is like, I've studied this so much where this is the one. Like everything that I've been winning on is just simple general patterns. Um, but also using my key conditions. And it's so every situation is so unique. Like today, this trading day will never happen again. Like everything that happened, yeah, you could use your back testing, use your statistics, but it will never happen again because there will only be one January 1st, 2025, right? And all the news and all the things that affected today and the ranges of the price action and everything, the market participants who came into the market are not going to probably be alive, next time, I don't know, something like this is similar. So it just to show you that yes, we do have patterns that work over and over and over, and they show up over and over and over. But at the same time, every single situation is unique, right? It's it's like shooting, playing basketball. Like your jumper, right? It's the same jumper, but it's a different shot, right? Or the situation is different because you're shooting against a different defender, right? Um, these setups is gonna happen over and over, over and over. But it's just that if we're really being honest, every situation is unique. Every conversation you have with someone is unique. Even if you talk to them, have the same conversations over and over. So, all right, that was my little rant on that. But let's check in with you guys and see what's going on in the chat. In the chat. All right, so someone says, how far back do you look when determining support and resistance for a current trade? All right, for a current trade, well, let me make sure, Maria, you said, missed taking profits at take profit one. Okay, especially if you have one contract. Yep. So, um, I think she might have been talking about Meta, right? So we're gonna get into Meta really quick, and then we'll talk about this support and resistance. But our GTI, I got so much I want to talk about. I got RGTI, Meta, but this is a crazy one. Let me just show you guys the chart and why it's so good. I feel like you guys are probably annoyed to hearing traders say this is a great setup, and like why? What is a setup? All these questions. I'll be answering these in the next episode, guys. Stay tuned. 4 hour chart. That is what we are looking at. RGTI is a quantum computing, and it's gonna take over the world. Like, well, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. But I'm just saying this quantum computing, the way that they're making it sound is it's doing some phenomenal things. But long story short, I believe the movies and shows told us that this is gonna be our next government. Um, Not to get into the politics stuff, but just using my observations, they literally showed us Eagle Eye, Westworld, and we look at the sphere, the dome. It's literally a quantum computer. You look at the Las Vegas dome, right? I don't know what it's for, or whatever, but I'm assuming quantum computer. Probably, I think in China they might be have something similar, but all the tracking, all the data, all the stuff that's happening fast paced, right? Fast paced, like I was saying, AI versus the real intelligence, which is you, right? Um, Everything is moving at a faster pace, so we just got to be able to have a process to keep up with it and execute, right? We got to save this conversation for Wellness Wednesdays because this is why a lot of depression, a lot of mental um things are happening. Like it's our brain isn't built to handle this level of processing. Things, we scrolling through Instagram and our brain is processing so many bits at right. You gotta think about the hardware of your brain is not built for this. So we probably more fatigued, right? And it's just subtle, but it catches up. And long story short, that's why the health era had to come into play. Mental health had to come into play because we going into this AI and it's gonna get even worse if you don't take care of yourself. So quantum computing is showing us that yeah, we're speeding things up. Flying cars are coming, right? And quantum computing is a big part of this infrastructure that's gonna take the world there. So pretty much you could see we was at $6 just 2 Fridays ago and now we're at $20. They're not playing around. And this is not just one stock. This is a couple different stocks. QUBT, QSI, what's the other one? Quantum computing, QBT, and off the top of my head, those are the three that I can remember. But take a look at this. Take a look at this. Simple charting, we're gonna just draw the high of this highest point. That's a resistance. All right. So we're gonna go right back to what we was talking about in our notes. We was talking about the environments. It's only two, trending versus ranging. So to make that make a little bit of sense, we're gonna come back here. See this up and down, up and down, up and down. There's some money to be made, but looking at this, it looks like chop. All right. Now this is ranging. Why? Because I'm gonna just I'm gonna just draw the bottom of this low for the candle and say, hey, this is the range. Now you could draw support levels at candle low. You could draw it at maybe the low of this entire wave, right? And this is the 4 hour. So think about how many other situations where you will have a candle and an overall wave on the other time frames. So you could have many different levels. Now the goal is to find out which is the right level, the best level. Um, and that's where you gotta do a little bit digging, but really you gotta understand what makes a level strong and the different ways that that happens. So we're gonna be talking about that. And then we do have a charting workshop that is available, pre-recorded. But trending when the price breaks this range, right? Notice we stayed inside. It finally broke. Bow. End of the day, when you probably thought the market was doing nothing, and it's not gonna do nothing probably until next week. Um, that's when it decided to break out, and you could see a lot of people they getting on me on that last post. Not a lot of people, like a lot of people like it, but my post where I was talking about the breakout slash reversal, right? I don't know if you guys could see this, but hopefully you guys can see. But they pretty much try to say there was no break and retest. So how was this a breakout pattern, right? And then you got the reversal, right? Simple. So hopefully you guys could have seen that, but they pretty much saying that a breakout pattern is the break, and then you get the retest, and then it's the breakout. A breakout pattern doesn't just go straight up, right? So it's just funny. There's a lot to say about that, but yeah, price could literally not have a retest and go straight up. And it happened many times. So it probably happens on the best setups. The setups that move a lot, like very strong, especially like Tesla, where once it breaks and closes above that level, sayonara. You'll be waiting for that break and retest next year. So next next year. Um, or the retest of the break. So there are situations where yes, it would break and then eventually come down to retest, and that probably is you get a better mm, conviction to a degree. You get a better entry, risk reward, all that fancy stuff. Um, my thing, I think about like this. Hey, you actually got two trades. You got the first break, take that as a scalp day trade. That could be 40, 20, 40, 50%. Take your bread and then come back, wait for that retest. Um, so when you're equipped to know what a breakout looks like, you won't be as scared. If you have good risk management, you won't be as scared. But yeah, this is just simply a resistance. Price closed above it. But you did see this candle come down to test it, which, is even better. It's the 4 hours. If you go to the 15, now you're seeing that break and then that retest. This is very high probability because you have not only one level, right, the original resistance, but you also have two levels, which is our 90 MA. Wow. Now coming into 2025, this is what we want to see. This is what we want to see. You want to see confluence, right? Imagine if you had some idea. Maybe it's for a business, maybe it's for like a hobby or whatever the case was, but you wanted to maybe close the deal on it or just pull the trigger, but you just needed another opinion. So you actually your best friend, and they're like, well, da 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 da. That's crazy. Yeah, you actually that makes sense. And they give you some information that you didn't have before, and it just only adds to everything you was thinking, right? And you're like, okay, great idea. And then you run into someone else, maybe one of your other friends who's very credible, right? Because you got some friends you trust them for certain things, but you might not trust them for other things, right? But you have a second friend, which is credible, and they give you a whole different perspective of why this same thing is a good idea. And you're like, wait, so I have my perspective, I got my other friend's perspective, and I got your perspective, and they're all different perspectives, and they're all aligning in the same direction. This is what your levels act as. They're giving you one perspective of why the price should go up or down, right? This trade idea that you're having, maybe it's a breakout, maybe it's a reversal, right? And people they didn't catch that part where you're breaking retest, right? This is the break, this is the retest, and let's get some visuals so you can see. right? This is the break. This is the retest. This is not a breakout trade, right? This is a reversal trade. Price is reversing at this level. It is not breaking out at this level. All right. Price broke out of this level. That is the breakout. All right. So maybe that clears up some confusion. But when I say I've simplified this game to where you don't have to overthink a lot. You just gotta just come in and join and see, just find out, right? You just gotta come and find out because you're probably not gonna believe me by me just talking about it. But I'm literally showing you. And hopefully it makes sense and you can ask questions if it doesn't. But there's only two main patterns in trading: a breakout or a reversal. You could add your cup and handle, whatever you want to call it. A cup and handle is a breakout pattern. If you want to trade the retest, so that's a reversal, right? So all I'm saying is whatever name you want to give it, make sure it's just a strong level. That's it. How do you know it's a strong level? Well, there's many different ways. Talk about that in my chart workshop. But yeah, we're gonna just graze upon a couple of these ideas. So we can make sure we don't keep you here all night. All right. So this is a good trade because we have a strong level by itself and then another strong level and they align at the same spot. And the kicker, right? The kicker is the price action. It confirms that this area is holding up and it is good to go. Right? So I'm gonna remove this drawing. This one here confirms that, right? This is a higher low, and look at the wick on that, and it's still holding above that 90 EMA. Bow. Another kicker. This, my friend, is a breakout. That's what you're looking at. I'm gonna delete this. Resistance. That is a breakout. You could enter on a breakout. It is okay, right? Or you can enter on a reversal, right? This green candle is a good candle to enter using this 90 EMA, expecting the price to go up after this higher low, right? Why? Because this is an uptrend and higher lows equal an uptrend. And if you missed the beginning of this video, that is how we was able to secure 623% on VST on the first trading day of the year by using a simple higher low. Bow. It's not hopefully you guys don't think this is rocket science. Um it's more of like taking a bunch of simple ideas and putting it together so that you could hmm, align it. Damn, make see now I'm making it sound complicated. You're taking some simple ideas and you want to follow a process to make sure things align with your strategy. That's it, right? Probably I added a little too much on, but the strategy part is important. You gotta have one. So we got six different strategies in this book, right? So I didn't show you guys that yet. We're not gonna get too deep into it. But you can see we got the drawings, we got the description, we got the trade signal, entry, stop loss, take profit. When you sign up to the Discord, you get that for free, right? Because I cared, right? This book is worth more than the subscription. This is like 60 pages of solid. Like I said, the risk management. This is something we didn't even talk about too much. But I think we have to before we leave. And before I get into this, I do want to make sure that everyone uh is just aware of like what we have to provide for the year in terms of education, right? And the biggest one is the 12-week mastermind, which is starting at the end of the month. And that is nope, not that one. So I'm just gonna show you the mastermind, 12-week mastermind. Um, there's not really much details on this page, but I'll be sending like official detailed one to you guys profile. I'm sorry, your emails. And yeah, like I said earlier, this is gonna be 12 weeks of diving deep. This Discord handbook, you're gonna know this Discord handbook, and this is just powerful because it's gonna allow you to be able to step into the market and be confident in just pulling out 30% on your money. Doesn't mean you're never gonna lose. You're not gonna lose. No, because the losses, we're always prepared for it. And think about it like this. If you have a 90% win rate, at least you're gonna run into one loss at some point. You just don't want that one loss to wipe out half of your profits, right? Imagine you one loss took out your last five trades. That hurts. And it takes a lot of time and it's a lot of energy. So that you're taking away that you worked for. So this is the secret sauce. There's a lot of secret sauces. It's like Chick-fil-A, right? We got the risk management table, and this is gonna help us keep that money, right? But build that money to even 100K. All right. That's where this one comes into play. This is a whole separate resource. This is a digital product that is not, it hasn't been released yet, but this is part of the 2025 New Year. I would call it a package that you would need because a lot of us have small accounts and we're trying to do something spectacular. And I'm not gonna be the guy that says, nah, you gotta wait like 2 years for that 500 to get to 100K or to risk 1% of your $500. No, I'm very realistic. I know we're not gonna just risk what like 1%, 2% of such a small amount of money. So I created a table um to really help you know how much to risk, how much to take profit, um, how much of a percentage of your account you should be using. And the beauty of this is, yes, 5 to 10% is pretty big for $500. At the same time, options cost some money. The right option, and it also has volatility, so you got to account for that. And you gotta just you gotta play the, well, when you do the math, it comes out to a bigger percentage on a smaller account. But when your account grows, you're gonna be taking less percentage of risk, which is safer, right? You're gonna get 2% at 2,000, maybe 1% at 10,000, and half percent once you get to 50K, 100K. But notice, even though the risk is going down, um, how much you're risking and how much you're making per trade is going up, right? Go from $25 per trade you're risking to 40 to 100 to 20 250 to $500 to make, 500 to 2,000. So these are just some numbers. This is just cookie cutter. But it's a very good, if there's any cookie cutter stuff to follow, is this. Is yeah, you could adjust it a little bit, but it doesn't really need much adjusting. You want to know, yes, when are times that you risk $40 versus 100? That is a good question. And yeah, that's why I would go with some extra education, right? If you try to do this stuff on your own, I mean, this by itself, I'm not gonna lie, you could do this on your own. It's everything in terms of applying it to the technicals, right? It's the applying it part that I say you need. It would be very helpful to have someone, even if it's for a month, even if it's just one session, just one. And this is me, my personal training background. I always tell people, hey, I gotta, it's that time after the free session, I gotta give you the sales pitch. And I'm just like, I know you probably can't afford this it was $1,200 package, right? Because at this expensive gym, Equinox. But um, just honestly looking at like just thinking about them and caring and seeing like if you don't have any help, you're gonna have the worst form. I mean, not the worst, but you're gonna have bad form, which could probably injure yourself. You're probably not gonna get the results that you want, even though you're showing up every day and putting the hard work in. And there's some things I could teach you that could dramatically shift your next 3 months, 6 months from just one session, right? So think about it like that. Another way to think about it is you're gonna risk some money to play this game. Most likely, if you have a losing day, it's probably gonna be more than $50, right? I mean, if you're trading a super small account, it's probably gonna be less. And if you're at that point, you're setting yourself up to lose. Um, like I would say anything smaller than $500 is gonna be very challenging, right? Because for many reasons, you might not be able to get the options you want. And then just a lot of constraints. But yeah, I know risk management is a big thing, and if you guys got any questions, drop below. So let me check in with the questions and see how you guys are doing. All right, so Noki says, "What is my morning routine for looking at the charts to trade the next day?" My morning routine is probably the worst that you would ever hear. Um, I wake up super late. Well, yeah, I mean, you said according to the charts. Let me not give you everything, but I do pray. So, I make sure I get to the charts probably like sometimes it's like 9:20. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it's like 9:20, and then I'm like, good morning, right? Like today, let's say, and then I'll post a watch list, but I'm only telling you this because of how quick I do it. And the reason why I'm telling you this is to show you that everything that I've done, everything that I do is programmed, right? We all got a mind, we all got a brain, and it's programmable. So if there's anything for you to program it, right? Like you're being programmed every day, right? You go on Instagram right after this webinar, you're gonna get programmed in some sort of way. So why not learn how to reprogram yourself and put the right programs, right? You got an iPhone, and I'm pretty sure someone sends you an app to download, you're gonna be like, I don't know if I want to add this app or whatever app. Um, you know there's certain apps you'll download and you want, but there's certain apps you might not want. So just think about your brain in that way where you have a choice to what apps you want to download, what apps you don't want to download and probably want to delete. All right. And I was able to take this simple system, right? It looks different because this is catered towards this strategy, which I did all the hard work for you guys. Honestly, it's insane. Well, I know you guys don't really see it and understand it yet. But yeah, in terms of my charting, my levels are already on the chart, 50 and 9 EMA. In terms of charting, a lot of my lines are already there because I already charted it from like a higher time frame. So Apple like the 4 hour, right? I didn't even look at Apple. I didn't trade it, but I knew it was dropping and I knew it could drop some more. Why? Because this was a major low on the 4 hour. If it drops below that, look to the left. Bow. That's the next low. If it drops below this level, expect it to drop down to this level. And you can see we got very close. I call this clear air. Notice there's nothing in between here. Who is gonna stop the price from dropping? Nobody. What support and resistance do you see? Right? You know what I see? This is what I see. And maybe Maria sees the same thing because she's a pretty good demand zone drawer. Wow, that's a demand zone, and that's the top of that is at pretty much 243. So we're just gonna drag it and see how that held up. So we're gonna activate. Let's drag that across. I think that was the low right there. Bow. Notice this candle came straight down and couldn't close below this box. On that 4 hour chart, let's look at the 15 minute, and that box is pretty darn clean, right? I'm telling you. Demand zones, supply zones, that's my charting. Usually I have a lot of my levels already drawn, but I would make sure I would look to the previous day to know what's the highs and lows because that is the range, right? Just like I was saying earlier, the range is gonna change the whole environment. If you're in a range, that's like you being in the hood, which is a range versus being out the hood and you in the suburbs or somewhere. The environment is totally different, right? I'm not saying you're gonna behave different, but some people behave differently when they're in the hood versus when they probably in the suburbs. It's not me, right? Haven't really experienced that, but kind of. I went from Brooklyn to Norfolk, right? Norfolk, they got some hood parts. They got some hood parts in Norfolk, but I was on the college campus. I was safe to a degree. All right. So am I missing anything? Let me make sure I go back to the questions. All right. So Maria has to go, but she deserves a trophy for today. She deserves a trophy. She definitely caught VST with me today. All right. Let me see more questions. So yeah, we're getting some questions from the same two people. So um if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop. Let me see. What does the reversals indicate? It will go as a downtrend. Yeah, reversals, it goes both ways. So the price could reverse from going down and it will go up, or the price may be going up and it will reverse going down. So pretty much you just got to find a good level. For example, if it's support, it could reverse, right? It could come down or reverse here and then go up. If it's a resistance, let me see here. Like this is a line of resistance, and we went up and we reversed and we came down. All right. So this here is a breakout. Notice there was no break and retest. Oh my. Um, what do we do? So here you got that break and retest. Let's see. This is 2019. All right, it came down to there, so you can see about 21-ish in the morning. All right, how did I get that? I'm gonna teach you how I did that in the 12-week mastermind. But now I'll be I think I talked about it on YouTube a couple times, but it's pretty much a measured move. You just take the length of this pullback and add it to the top. That's gonna give you a target based on this pullback, where it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Very solid. Let's do the same thing here. 1826. The price came down to 1650 something. So we're gonna give that a range. The 18 down to 16. That's about $2.20. No, well, 18, $2. Okay, less than $2. So about let's say $1.50. We're gonna estimate it. So $1.50 plus this would be 1975. 1975, right about here. So the target did get to the range, I mean to the target, but not only that, it smashed through it and closed above it with a strong candle. no wick at the top, meaning no sellers coming in, which is the little details that tells you the situation, how bullish or bearish it is. And this is looking pretty bullish, especially when you take in consideration this break and retest. So, um, what was the question again? I'm getting lost in the sauce. All right. What is the difference between demand zone and support? So demand is more like a box, right? It's a zone, and you could find it at the lows, right? Wherever the price pushed up, right? You see how the price pushed up a lot. The support, that's a great question. And I feel like a lot of people won't really be able to answer that properly, but I'm gonna give you a good answer, right? See, the support is a support. A demand zone is a demand zone. Ah, that's the answer, right? That was good. That was good. Hopefully that answered your question with that one. Nah, I'm playing with you. But pretty much the support is very self-explanatory. I think it's the lowest point that you could draw. The low support levels could also be multiple levels. I mean, sorry, multiple touches at a level, so it doesn't have to be the direct low. You might be able to find a support level somewhere in between a range. There's different ways to draw it. But the main thing I would say is support is at the bottom of the lowest point, and it's just a line. Demand zone is a zone, and it's saying in this area we could bounce, right? More specifically, I like to say the top of this zone. They say yes, anywhere inside the zone it could bounce, but I'm specifically looking for the top. All right, I'm looking for something like that, like a like a Verizon logo. All right, my mom worked for Verizon. Shout out to them. And the thing that makes it so powerful is when you go down a rabbit hole, this whole market is built off of supply and demand, right? Show me a market that isn't based on supply and demand, right? The cars market, the real estate market, buyers and sellers. That's all it is. Support and resistance, I don't think that's the foundation of a market. Come more than supply and demand. So in its definition, supply and demand is more powerful than support and resistance, right? And then when you draw it and you actually work out the technicals, you're gonna see for yourself supply and demand is king top of everything. So support and resistance works great. You get a trade off of that right there. Bow to the upside off of that break and retest. If it gets below this low, stop out when you're done. All right. If you want to cry or do you want to, if you want to study and see how you can do better, that's an option. But that's as simple as trading could be. If it gets below, you could enter here. Maybe, yeah. Um, this is a good entry. Why? Because it confirmed this level, held it with a green candle, and this green candle is crossing above that green candle that confirmed everything, where it's like a confirmation on top of a confirmation, and it's showing you that we're breaking the range, like I said, the range, which gives you that trending environment for us to move up even further, right? So it's a lot going on, and that's just in a nutshell, kind of how we could explain that. But let me see. We're gonna close this out. All right. I know we gotta get to bed, so I just want everyone to know that we do have that 12-week mastermind coming up. You could pay in payment plans. It's only be 10 people. So first come, first serve. If you guys now it will be initial fee of 1,000, and then you could pay 500 every 2 weeks until you hit 3,000. So that's pretty much gonna be paid in yeah, like 2 months. But 3,000, what are you getting for that? You're getting 24 personal classes. Imagine 23 other classes just like this. But it's more. structured, and you're also gonna get one-on-ones, right? You're also gonna get one-on-ones. To make sure that you're handheld, even if you're a beginner or even if you're experienced, to make sure that when April comes, you got to think about, will you be the same person when April comes? Because if you're in this mastermind, you're not going to be the same person, um, because we're gonna be having a structured plan, and it's proven to work. Brian, I don't know if Brian is still here, but Brian came in to the Discord this year, and he's probably one of our best traders now. And he did the one-on-ones with me, and before he came, he said that he was gonna quit trading before because it was some other Discord and they didn't really make sense to him, and he just thought trading wasn't for him. Long story short, when he came to me, I thought he was pretty good, and we just worked on some things, gave him a system of structure, and he's just killing it. So he's probably calling out better trades some days than I am, and it's just beautiful how someone could transform in such a small amount of time so well. And it was like when you're checking off all those boxes, that's when you just say wow, right? Because that's I don't know. I'm fascinated with transformations, and this is back from my personal training days where I know it's possible and what you could do in 3 months. And that's more of the context for why I picked 12 weeks, because that first month, I don't know if you guys remember P90X, but it's the fitness program you can follow at home for home workouts. But the first phase is the first month, and you'll see decent changes. That second phase, which is 60 days, well, 30, the second 30 days, you're like, wow, okay, this thing is actually working. But in that last phase is like, whoa, like you're not the same person. And that's how this is structured. Like today, you guys got just everything in a nutshell. But imagine doing this for 3 months, right? Not only that, I'm not just talking, I'm showing it, right? 600% on VST today. Um didn't show you guys the day trade. I think, yeah, Meta. Meta was a trade that we took 70 cents. I know you guys might be confused at how much is this gonna cost to trade. You don't need let's say, I mean, if you have 2,000, that would be good, but if you have 5,000, sorry, 500, that's enough. Like this costed $70 and this went 30%. So very quick. This is RGTI. Could see this chart. We're still in this trade. Um, you know, I don't think there's much more to show you guys in terms of results, but 30% is very doable every day. Imagine if you do 30% of your, like I think Maria said she was already up 30% of her entire portfolio after today. Imagine if you did that every day of the week, which is all right, you have a red day every now and then, but some things you can't control. But overall, 4 out of 5 days, compound that. So that's where the 500 to $1,000, $100,000 blueprint comes into play. So this will be available um pretty much this weekend. I have the link up to purchase, but this will be finalized over the weekend, and it's gonna walk you through all the parts of how to get to that 100K. Each step, each level is a different approach, right? And yeah, just a blueprint that's very, very helpful. It's gonna come with a video course, and this is gonna be 47 bucks. And yeah. So if anyone wants to join the Discord, we got a link, I believe. I dropped it in the chat earlier, but I'm gonna just grab that link one more time. And this is the link for the mastermind and the Discord if you guys want to join. Um, and yeah, in terms of prizes, I didn't even get to that point, right? How could you guys let me go away with that? But 'cause I know it's getting late, I'm a I'm gonna make sure that someone comes away with the prize, but we're giving away a free month in the Discord, and we're gonna be giving away this blueprint that we just looked at. So I'm gonna send that in the chat. Wow. All right, so those are the two links. And for everyone that sticked around, right? You guys are gonna give me a number between 1 and 100, and whoever the two people who gets the closest, you guys are gonna get the prizes, right? So 1 month free in Discord, and you'll also get the blueprint, right? For number one. And then second runner, well, the runner up will get the blueprint, right? So the blueprint is, like I said, is very powerful. And yeah, let me stop talking. All right, so we got some numbers. We got some numbers. We got some numbers. Drop them numbers. All right. I got a degree in math, so I love numbers, engineering, all of that. Appreciate everybody for engaging. All right, so is that all the numbers? I think we have 14 people still in the Zoom. Let me know. Is that all the numbers? Okay, Jarvis threw his number in the last minute. All right, so the number that I'm thinking is 33, guys. 33. And everyone knows who got the closest, right? She was right on point. Noki. Yes, indeed. Number one. Number one. 32. You know what's funny? That's some alignment right there. Cause 632 right there. 632. 3 times 2 is 6. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right. So you got 1 month free access to the Discord, and even better, even better. I'm gonna give you tier 3 access. Oh, snap. Tier 3, what is that? All right, tier 3 is the new tier, right? $150. Which people is scared, they're scared to pay $150 for some live trading. But the lifetime members, they got they have access for life. So if you're a lifetime member, kudos to you. This is not it. What am I looking for? The live trading is going to be in this um chat, and we're going to be on this is where I'm going to drop the link for Zoom, and we're just going to be on Zoom, and we're going to be trading together Tuesdays and Thursdays 9:30 to 11. And what else? Then there's something else that comes with tier 3, but you get some perks, right? More than tier 2. Tier 2 is just the day trade alerts at $50 a month. Very super valuable. Just by the watch list alone, which is actually free if you join the tier 1. So yeah, that's what I have to offer. For anyone who um wants to join the mastermind, I have another, right? I do have another option for you, right? If the 3,000 is a big number for you at the moment, I do have another option. So if that is you, just send me a DM, and I'll give you guys that option for that. So let me just read through and see if there's anything that I missed. Uh, Prizes and you guys. Well, how did you guys feel about the information today? Did I answer or give you guys some good stuff, or how was it? Because you know me, sometimes I just try to give everything, but try to be a little bit smarter this time. And everyone got to go to bed at some point. So let's see, risk management, charting, goal setting. I think that was the biggest thing. And there's a lot of big things. This is a huge one. I think Jarvis knows what this he's experienced this chart. This is the roadmap to becoming a consistently profitable trader. So let's see the chat. Let's see what you guys talking about. Thank you, thank you. iPhone says she would. I don't know if it's he or she. Sorry, but uh, we'll DM for that option. Noki says good info. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I do I need to DM? Yeah, please do. Let me see. Trading with, yeah, either on Instagram or my email, trading with Cam. Trading with Cam. It's my IG. Thank you, DP. Clarity and good information, easy to understand, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I'm gonna do a little quick video because I don't be taking anything for Instagram. But yeah, I'm gonna just repeat what I said. Act like I ain't say it. Hold up, hold up. We got, all right. Noki says good info you've been putting out. DP says clarity and good information, easy to understand. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Great, great workshop. Appreciate everybody for coming on through. RGTI. Wow. Keep that on watch. I think that's going to be a good, interesting stock. That's going to have some good momentum. Why am I saying that? Look at the range. A little rule of thumb. The longer the range of consolidation, the bigger the breakout. Sometimes the tighter the range as well, but I don't know how much I agree with that. But definitely the longer that consolidation, that means they're cooking. They've been in that kitchen cooking up for a while, right? And when that food is ready, it's gonna be hitting. It's gonna be slapping, right? So we got some momentum coming with the RGTI, some other ones. You got, I think QUBT. I didn't check on it today, but you could see this level that I had, it bounced, um, bounced, and we're still in this range, so I don't really trust it. It's looking tight. QSI, oh my goodness. I'm telling you, man, it's quantum takeover in the stock market. And this went from, I literally seen this. I just was just tired of calling stuff out. Well, yeah. Hey, yeah, if you guys was in the chat today, you know what I mean. I wanted to see more people um take, taking these trades and not really taking the trades, but engaging, right? Because people got to work. But I want people to win. And it's 2025. Leave all that timid, shy, oh, I don't know how to do it stuff in 2024 because you got all the help you need now. And very supportive. You got a good community. And honestly, the females are doing, they're really showing out. Top of the guys. So the guys, you gotta step up a little bit. All right. Maria, she's killing the game. Sam, she's killing the game. And big percentages. So this one went from like $3. It was under $3, $2, and it doubled today. Doubled. Imagine the option on that. Let's actually look at the option on that before we go. This is the 10 something. So let's look at the $4 option. I'm gonna just copy that, right? And I'm gonna go to the chart and I'm gonna just paste it. And I could see how this option moved throughout the day. And this is, let's see, I'm gonna go back. Okay, this is today. This costed 20 cents today. Oh, this wasn't that bad. Okay, it went from 20 cents to 95. That's a huge move for just, I mean, see, this is where I get greedy, right? I'm sounding like I'm greedy. This is a 300% move. But I would have expected more. I don't know, because it's doubled in price. So, yeah, you know. But all right, I think I talked you guys ears off. You guys have the Discord, you got the Mastermind, you got the workshop on Saturday. How can I forget? That is the risk management workshop. And like I said, it's very important. It's $35. That's probably the lowest cost. Where are we? Where are we? Workshops. All right, so all I'm gonna do is just copy and paste that in there. Wow. Thoughts on QBTS? And can we roll over RGI stock if it expires tomorrow? Rollover, how I think about that is you exit your position and you buy a position for next week. So you could do that anytime. Anytime. Let's see, QBTS, anything with a Q is probably has a good chance of doing well. I like this. Look at the lows, higher highs. This candle closed above that. This is the 1 hour chart. So look at the weekly. You see it had a high at 1323. If we just draw simple levels. Why am I looking at this area? Because if I look at where we are, I'm just looking straight to the left. All right. So you got this line at 950. You got this line at 1150. Look at this. Nothing in between. Clear air. Clear air. Who's gonna stop the price from getting here? It's 1143. Did we get there yet? Ah, I got pretty close. Pretty close. Let's go to the 4 hour and see how that played out. Play some games. Okay. Okay, well, we're getting into this range. So what I would want to see is if you could hold this as support, 950. That's going to give us confirmation for us to travel up to this 1150. And that can happen quick. It can happen in 1 day. You could see some of that happening pre-market, and then it pushes up during the market open or during the day. It doesn't have to be tomorrow, but you could see we do have pressure pushing up off of this 50 EMA, which is bullish. All right. If you go back, all right, someone asked about back testing. Well, just go back. How did the price perform when it reached this yellow line? Went up, went up, went up. How many times does it have to happen until you start believing in this being a good chance at risking your money? All right, where would you put your stop loss? Below that low. Why? Because this is the wave and this is the previous low. So if price breaks below this low, then this uptrend isn't as valid as it says it is. So get up. All right. So you're using your trend, you're using the EMAs, you're using support resistance, and then you could use other stuff like volumes to help confirm a couple of these ideas you have. All right. But for the most part, when you're talking about patterns, you're really just trading a reversal, which is be the bounce off of the 50 EMA, or you're trading a breakout, which would be a breakout in the direction of where the price is already going. All right. So that breakout could be through a previous high, like 990, could be through this high, 1041, whichever one you want to use for whatever reason. Just understand the pattern, and I simplify it to only two, um, breakout or reversal, and then I put a spin on it, right? And I really define where all these reversals actually happening because there's many places the price could reverse. So, um, once you understand all the areas where your price could reverse for your trades, all the areas price could break out for your trades, and it could just be one or two, all right? Then that's your game. You set up that game and you stick to it. If someone comes to you and says, "Hey, what about this?" and if it doesn't fit into your game, it doesn't matter. And that's the energy and the mindset that we gotta have coming into this year. That we first have to build the throne, right? Build build the throne, build the castle, and then you could what was I saying? I think I was saying something. You could add stuff to it, right? But first you gotta build, you gotta have the basics, um, and then you act on it, right? So I feel like a lot of people that they're acting on something that they don't have structure in as yet. So yeah, that's the main thing I wanted to hammer home is you guys um have a lot in front of your plate in terms of the opportunities that will be presented this year. It's already been presented. Some people seen it, most people didn't. Some people don't even know VST happened, what that did today. Some people don't know about the quantum computing stocks right now. They're probably waiting on Bitcoin to reach 120,000, right? Which would be a 20% gain from where it's at right now when we just made 600% on some random stock, right? I mean, it's not random, but I still didn't really fully know what the company does, right? All I'm doing is watching the price action, and seeing, hey, the price had good momentum today and it's off of my key levels. Same way how I don't even know what what is it? QBTS, right? Did or what it's doing, but we see, hey, this could be a potential trade tomorrow. All right. Just like that. There's 9,000 stocks. Obviously, we not gonna catch all of them, but we want to get the best ones that we can. And we do have ways to be able to do that, such as something simple like FinViz, which I'm not going to get into too much, but this is something that you could do if you simply want to find the best stocks. Wow. I want you guys to see what I just did. This is showing you 9,848 stocks in the market. We just took that down to 80 of the best stocks that have momentum. And guess who showed up as number one? Mr. RDTI. That just shows you how great this filter could be. Um, the tools that I have in place for you guys to win. If you guys wanna, not getting on you guys, if it's everyone's option, but if you guys want to figure it out on your own, feel free. But I'm very willing to help you. Very willing to make sure you get it all the way to the end because I probably care more than you. And the main thing is to make sure that we have a winning team. And I gotta say, some of this is probably ego. I do want to have some winners on my team. Don't want to win alone. It kind of feels a little lonely, as weird as that sounds, right? I don't know who wants to win alone, who wants to have money and spend it alone, right? You actually want to, there's something about this social thing, right? As being a human, you want to do it together in some sort of aspect, but they got all these setups. Some of these I definitely would not touch. Like, what is this? And some I just have no idea. They look choppy. Skip them, and you might just find some bangers. So that's how I found. Dang, it was a good one. It was a good one. BBAI. BBAI. That's how I found this one. And this was our swing that we just got out of on Tuesday. We swung this from I think like here to there, and it was like 62%, 50%, something like that. But yeah, that's how we do. That's how we do. But all right, Brian, man, that's the man right there. He says he's gonna win. You're gonna win together in 2025. It's gonna be amazing. Noki says last year was a test. This year we gonna be the best. Let's get it. Yo, I love this energy, right? Imagine if we had a whole community and we woke up like this every morning, right? Stock market got nothing on us, right? Well, you know what's crazy? There actually is a community and it's trading with Cam. Oh, snap. And Maria was bringing that energy this morning. You could see she was going in. She was like, yeah, like AVGO pushing, took my 40%. Bow. And then Sean, QB. All right. Oh, that Sean. iPhone, Mr. Sean. QBTS. Let's go. I should have known that from the mentorship. All right. So we got some good energy, right? Fairly small community. So I feel like we, use there's an advantage to small communities. Use it before it gets big. Um, Solidify your presence as a leader, right? Own your spot. So when everyone comes in, you the OG, right? But yeah, it's a great webinar. We do have the trading workshop on Saturday. Is $35 to break down risk management, which is the most important thing in trading, next to your mindset. But you can still make some good profits. Well, not say mindset, yeah, mental health and everything. But yeah, risk management is very important. It's $35. Most likely your next loss will be more than $35. So you could do, obviously we can't prevent all losses, but we could know how to manage them. And that is the point of how to manage them in a way that we could grow our account exponentially. And that's the difference. I'm not trying to tell you risk management so you can make 1% gains or 2% gains. It's the opposite. How can we manage your money so we can make the most amount of money this year? Right? We hear risk and we run away, but risk is how we win. And that's the irony to everything. So yeah, $35. Hope everyone could show up and really show for yourselves because you're gonna enter some trades this year. You're going to have to figure out what is the right amount of risk for the trade for your personal account. You're gonna have to know where you're gonna take profit, how you're gonna take profit, where you should put your stop loss, maybe if you have multiple contracts, how you're gonna scale out of your position. Now that your account may be grown from taking good trades, when do you size up? Did I size up too much? How much? It's a lot of questions, especially when the market changes. Um, it's a whole different story. So definitely look out for that this Saturday. I think I dropped the link already. Let me see. Kamar is in the building. What's going on? Did I drop the link? Yep. So it says live class. All right. Noki says I DM you. Wait, iPhone is a woman. Oh, snap. All right, that's not Sean. So both, wait, who said QBTS? I find it ironic because Sean, he was iPhone, right? His same screen name was iPhone in the mentorship. And he literally asked about QBTS today. Well, he traded it for 67%, which is crazy. And y'all both got like a pink type of thing, Jay. So, don't blame me. My bad, my bad. All right. So hopefully everyone got some value. Wish we could stay here at party all night and look at some tickers. I'll probably still look at some tickers, right? So sorry if you can't join me, but I'm gonna get some black eyed peas. Yeah, for this new year, some collard greens. All right, get some energy for tomorrow. It's Friday, zero DTE, which means things get even riskier. But as things get riskier, the reward gets bigger. Um, in terms of the options. So you could make some crazy, crazy gains. But at the same time, you could lose your entire position. And just knowing that, right? People hear that, they would want to run away. Whoa, whoa, that's not for me, right? But sometimes it's probably the safest thing you could do because you could put up a very small amount, let's say even $25, 25 cents on an option, and that could turn into something significant, like you have $1, right? Which would be 400% gain or something, or 300% gain. Um, but philosophy to that is if you're gonna take a trade and your risk, right, proper risk is let's say $25 per trade. Um, that doesn't mean all right, only take $25 position size. You could take $1 trade, but if it goes down 25 cents, right, or $25, you should get out. So you lose $25, right? But you got to make sure you get out. Because if you don't, you're gonna lose that whole 100 at some point, possibly. Um but if you just put that $25, you already agree that hey, I'm okay losing this, and put it into a same day expiration, then you don't have anything to worry about in terms of the loss because you already maximize yourself. You can't lose more than the $25 and you have unlimited upside. So I've literally seen a 25-cent option go to like $9 or something in a day. Crazy. Multiple times. I don't know, let me not lie. But I've seen it happen. So, but I've seen multiple times where like, all right, 20 cents turn into like $5. Um, and it's yeah, you could catch them if you get your technicals right. All right. So why do I use 9 EMA, 50 EMA? Oh, versus 9 EMA is short term, 50 EMA is more overall. And the 200 is gonna be like a long term, right? The price gotta drop a lot for it to hit that. So I'm more of like a short term, intermediate short term. So 200 isn't necessary for me. If you're an investor, it's great, right? The lowest the price could get, that's your opportunities. But also if I use my 50 EMA from the 4 hour and apply that same 50 EMA on my weekly, that weekly chart, 50 EMA, would be the same exact level as the 200 EMA on a lower time frame, like the 4 hour, if that makes sense. So pretty much things will overlap. So really you just need two EMAs. If you're going through each time frame, if you go through each time frame, like this 9 EMA on a weekly, look, see how the price is kind of tapping it a little bit. That 9 EMA is probably a 50 EMA on a 4 hour. See how the price is kind of tapping. Well, yeah, it's kind of. If I go to the daily, it might be too much. Might be too much. Yeah, to see, I'm comparing to that 50. Let me see. So the 4 hour. But yeah, the 50. So you see how that 9 EMA on the weekly could turn into a different moving average on a smaller time frame, right? I would need like an 8 hour chart for this to fully line up, but you know, you will see the difference a lot when you get to the lower time frames. But in a nutshell, that's why I like my 50 and my 9. My 50 isn't too far where I won't catch trades. 200 is a little bit too far for me. Trading View, I never liked Trading View. I never liked Trading View. For cryptos, it's all right, but I mean, some people use it, some people like it. I maybe just the way I grew up. I grew up with Think or Swim, and whenever I try to do something like it's something like a Fibonacci. I've been trying to like use a Fibonacci, and it's just weird. Like it wouldn't like set at the right level. I don't know. I know you could program and do a bunch of stuff. It's probably good for like Forex, like better in for Forex. But all of this is preference. It's all preference. This is just more charting. Charting is more whatever fits your visuals better, you know? What tools and more the feel for it. You can still draw support, demand, trend line, also volume. I don't know how legit the volume is, but yeah, trading view is cool. For beginners, yeah, like anything for beginners is good. No, let me not say anything. I don't like Robinhood, even though they say Robinhood is for beginners. Definitely not for charting. And I just don't like their whole agenda of how they're trying to like absorb your attention in to the app. Like, go to think of swimming is very professional. It's no disco balls and all that type of stuff flashing in your face when you're just trying to look at the price. Like stuff is moving on the screen. I'm like, I'm trying to focus. Like Robinhood is like they're literally trying to rob you, right? Like of your attention and your I mean, it's a rabbit hole. But there's Weeble. Weeble I heard is pretty good. Weeble. Who else? Mumu. I've been hearing about Mumu. And I'm just naming stuff I heard on YouTube from like people I watch. But I just stick with Thinkorswim. I'll use Coinbase. Maybe someone knows something better about crypto. I don't. Literally Robin. Baskin Robbins. All right. Uh, you guys asked some good questions. I think I need y'all in the Discord. Some good energy. That's what it really is about these days is good energy. And if you can make, well, first is business, right? Good trades. And then, but it's vice versa. Because sometimes the energy helps with better trades and, you know, but I think you guys are equipped, right, from this small webinar, right? And I appreciate everyone for coming through. We're gonna show out on Saturday. Risk management. We coming through with some formulas to make sure you win, right? And make sure you this is a challenge. This is a challenge to not blow up account this year. How about that? Challenge you to not blow up an account this year and to do everything that you can to not do it. All right. And we're gonna be talking all about the ways we could do that this Saturday. All right. So link is in the bio, it's in the chat, and catch everyone next time. Thank you for showing up. Brian says, incredible class. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. I'm gonna just take a little video. Appreciate everybody for showing up. Brian says, incredible class. Noki says, we appreciate you, brother. Nobody forced you to bless us with this info. Appreciate that. Jarvis, thanks, Cam. Judy, thank you. I know it's getting late, so I'm gonna catch y'all tomorrow. Hope you guys sleep good. All right. Peace.